Hi guys! So Easter is just around the corner, so here I am with another cute dessert idea that I created just in time for this Sunday. Can you believe Easter is already this Sunday? It not being in April is really throwing me for a loop. Anyway, this cute little baby chick cupcake is really easy to pull off, and I'm going to show y'all exactly how I created these little guys. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is make your eggshells. They need time to harden in the fridge or freezer, so let's go ahead and make those first. Now, I have not blown up a balloon in forever, as you can see me struggling right here. And I don't know that I've ever been able to successfully tie a balloon. So this right here was probably the hardest part of the entire thing. So you want to blow up your balloon just so it's big enough to put your cupcake in. I'm making regular size cupcakes, so I'm filling my balloon accordingly with air and then trying to tie it off. If you're making mini cupcakes, your balloon would be smaller. If you're making muffin-sized cupcakes, they'd be a little bit bigger. So you just need to blow up as many balloons as you have cupcakes, plus a few more just in case. You never know what can happen. You could easily drop your eggshell and it breaks. You just never know. So make 1 or 2 extra. These are the balloons I'm using. I just happen to have these laying around. They can be any color, it really doesn't matter. Just grab yourself any kind of balloon. And then these are the candy melts that I'm using. Wilton Bright White is the color. You could of course use any color you wanted, and you could even make your eggshells super fancy with different colors like you would when you're dyeing an Easter egg. But I'm keeping this simple and really easy here, folks. First off, you want to melt some candy pieces in a microwave safe bowl and then stir it up until it's nice and smooth. Then you're going to start dipping the lower portion of each of your balloons into the melted chocolate. Each balloon has its own shape, and you can dip your balloon down as far as you'd like. So because of that, each eggshell will end up being completely different from the next. When dipping your balloons in the bowl, spin them around or twist them around in the chocolate to coat the bottom portion as much as possible. It's okay if some chocolate gets on some unexpected spots on the balloon. It will look just fine when it's all done. When you've got the bottom portion of your balloon coated in chocolate, you then want to place a small dollop of melted chocolate on a piece of wax paper or aluminum foil, and then set your balloon on top of the dollop. That will just give your eggshell a nice flat bottom for when you serve them so they're not falling over. And just hold your balloon there for a second until it sits up on its own. The chocolate starts to stiffen pretty quickly, so you don't need to hold it for long. Next up, let's make some baby chicks. Now I'm using a yellow fondant that I have left over that I just keep in a baggie. If your fondant is super hard, then you can put it in the microwave for a few seconds and then try using your fingers to work it and to soften it. Now I'm going to first shape my fondant into a ball and then work it into the desired shape of a baby chick. So I'm just working the fondant and molding it into shape with my fingers, and then once I have it the way I like it, I just set it to the side, grab a little bit more of the yellow, and do it again until I have as many baby chicks as I need. Now I'm using some brown Wilton food coloring to dye some frosting brown for the nest. You could use chocolate frosting, but I chose just to color some of my white frosting brown. I'm also going to use just a regular grocery store bought food coloring to make some frosting orange for the beaks. And then just keep adding food coloring with a fresh toothpick until you get to the shade that you're going for. Don't double dip your toothpick into your Wilton food coloring, or you could ruin the entire container. Use a fresh toothpick each time. For making the nest on my cupcake, I'm using a Wilton number 8 tip, I believe, but you really could use any of the open round tips to make the nest. And all I'm doing is going around my cupcake top with my brown frosting and just layering the frosting rings one on top of the next. Then I'm adding just a little bit in the center where my baby chicks are going to sit. But I'm adding most of my rings of frosting around the edge of the cupcake, and I want the edge to be higher than the middle, just like a real nest would look. I'm using some granola to add some detail to my nest, and I'm also using some melted chocolate chips to make the eyes using just a toothpick. Now for the beak, I'm using a Wilton number 352 tip and some of my orange frosting that I made. So let's see that again. Round rings of brown frosting around the edge of the cupcake, layering one on top of the next. Then add a little in the middle of the nest. Set your fondant baby chick somewhere in the middle. Add a beak, some eyes, and then some granola to the nest to make it fancy. Now for the beak, practice on a paper plate, then try it on your chick. It's a very slight movement and you're not using much frosting at all, but practice first. Alright, so now all of our baby chick cupcakes are done and ready to go. They just need their eggshells to sit in. So get your balloons from the counter or the fridge if you place them in the fridge, and then using scissors, cut your balloon to pop it. Once the balloon is cut, it will start to peel away from the shell on its own, but you will still have to gently pull it the rest of the way out. So this is how my eggshells look when they're done. Each one is completely different from the next, which is exactly how I want them to be. And they all have a flat bottom, so they sit up nicely on a plate. Alright, so the last step here is to arrange them on a serving display stand. So first I'm going to place each eggshell on the plate, then I'm going to grab a cupcake and remove the paper lining. Then I'm going to set the cupcake into the eggshell and I'm going to arrange it so it's sitting as perfectly as I can get it. Just remember, each eggshell that we've created is different and the bottoms are different for each one because all of our balloons are different. So you may have to adjust your cupcake and the angle of your cupcake so they all look cute. And you're just going to do that for each one of your cupcakes and each one of your eggshells. Remove the paper lining, set it in there, and then just adjust it so it looks the way you want it to. And then you're done. Alright, that's it guys. Our baby chick cupcakes are finished and they're completely edible. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it inspires you to create some new Easter treats for your family. Thanks for watching!